What is up, everybody? Welcome to another live Pin to Gas podcast on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. It's actually raining and hot here in Virginia right now, which is the total opposite of what it's been doing. But ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute honor today to sit down with these three gentlemen, Ryan, Kyle, and Roger from MotorDrones Racing. Today on the podcast, you guys know Shane Maggs. He actually rides for them too, but we'll get into that. So I just want to say thank you so much for Next Level Financial. Take total control of your financial future. Get your complimentary financial analysis today by Seth Starnes. And gentlemen, I tell everybody this: don't spend your hard-earned money on an off-the-rack suit because it's not going to fit you 100% correctly. When you have a suit that does not fit you correctly, causes all kinds of issues when you're riding, right? My recommendation is bisontrack.com. I know Shane is in the X1, 1X, right? 1X, yeah, 1X. I had to look just to make sure it's right here on the collar. Listen. Honestly, just get you a custom suit. You guys know I'm an ambassador for Bison. So, yes, I recommend bisontrack.com, but whatever brand you decide to go with, make sure it's custom. You deserve it. Yes, I'm talking to you guys, not you three, but everybody else, right? You guys deserve it. Love yourself. Treat yourself. Trust me. You will thank us later. But ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute honor to sit down with MotorDrone Racing today. Gentlemen, what is up?
Yeah.
Right. What's going on, Ryan, Kyle, and Roger?
Not much, man. Happy to sit down with you.
Yeah, trying to make it through the recover from the holidays.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I hear my kids getting yelled at in the background, probably.
I love it, man. I love it, right? Because you're a dad, and Ryan's a dad. We're all dads, right? It's kids are the greatest gift we ever got in our life, right? Besides motorcycles. My son, he's off the walls, running around all the time, just hooping and hollering, screaming, especially when his friends are playing Fortnite. And yeah, man, all that stuff. But listen, no worries. When this is over, I'll do my best to try to background mic it out with you to see if I can actually mute it a little bit. But gentlemen, let's get into this conversation. Each one of you guys, it's an honor again to have you guys on the podcast. I want three of you guys. I'll start with Roger, just to tell a brief, tell everybody who you are, brief description on how you and where you started in the motorcycles, and then we'll go to Kyle, and then we'll go to Ryan, and then we'll do the whole how you guys met and all that good stuff. So Roger,
yeah,
how you doing, bro? Take it away.
I'm doing good. So my parents, they were part of a thing called Competition Race Control. It was a flagging communications staff, and they were always down at Nelson Ledges, which is about 45 minutes from where Ryan and I are at. And I kind of grew up at that track. It was 4, 5, 6 times a summer we were at the track for sprint races, and then once a summer there was Nelson Ledges used to do the 24 hours of, the endurance race there. It was part of WERA, and we were down there for the big 24-hour every summer. And so I was always around it. And when I got, when I got old enough, I, bought a CBR 600 and was just street riding. And I wanted to do a track day. So I did a couple track days, and then I got into racing. And that was 94. And then I met Ryan a couple years after that, and we just kept going for a few years. And then I got away from it a little bit when my son was born, and I didn't have a bike for a few years. And then I ended up getting another street bike, which I still have. I have an R6 now. And yeah, I enjoy staying connected to it through Ryan and Kyle. There he is.
Absolutely. There he is. What is up, bud? I just started the podcast. You can show everybody. So my he's real big into Legos. He actually made this Lego gun that actually shoots rubber bands, the slide cocks back and everything.
Nice.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, yeah, dude. So we love guns. We're big into guns. He's got his own AR-15. He knows how to take it apart. We go shooting and all that good stuff. So he likes to make, Lego, that and Lego butterfly knives. So he's out there, dude. Yeah, yeah. So warning to everybody, don't pull a knife out because he'll definitely show you how to use it. 110%. Especially if you got a butterfly knife. He's just Yeah, he looks like Bruce Lee with nunchucks with it. So he's been working on this for a while. He actually stayed the night with my parents last night because they went out and adopted a new puppy yesterday. So
We got one too.
yeah, they know we got one, Rossi. She was in here a few minutes ago, but she decided to take off. So
There's a rubber bands in there.
yep. Boom, there it is.
Ooh.
That's awesome. I love it.
She's really
I love it. And so, Roger, you're a dad, so tell everybody how many kids you got.
I have two. My son's 22, my daughter's 19.
Man, Tom's such a thief, right? It's the biggest thief there is. Kyle, introduce yourself. Tell a brief story of how you got into racing and all that good stuff.
I got into motorcycles when I got out of college. I moved down to Fairmont, West Virginia, down kind of towards the mountainous area compared to where I grew up anyway. And bought a supermoto and then started riding around and then bought a sport bike, got a R6 and then a Gixxer 1000. Then moved up to Pennsylvania and continued to ride around in the hills out here and wound up basically on my Gixxer 1000. Every time I'd take it out, I'd try to get the cops to chase me, and that's no good. So I started doing track days, and then did about 2 track days, and I'm like, all right, it's time to start racing. So I got my race license and started doing that. And a couple of years after that, maybe 2 years after I got my race license, Ryan and I were racing the V8 class, I think V8 heavyweight. I was on 600, he was on 750, but every time, basically whoever got the whole shot was going to win the race, and then we would just chase each other around, and I ended up low siding in front of him. I rode off the edge of the tire, and my bike stood back up and was ghost riding down the track, and Ryan luckily didn't hit me. And then he came over and started talking to me after the race, and we became friends, went to the GNF together, and then started doing the endurance thing. The first year that we did the endurance racing, I had a $1,500 bike that I'm like, we can cartwheel it through a wall. I really don't care. So we did that and wound up second place in our class at the end of the year for the championship, second place. And after that, I think that's when Roger got involved and took the bike and rebuilt the bike, and things kind of exploded from there, way bigger than we ever thought it would ever be. I mean,
I love it.
It's really grown quickly.
I love it. And so on that day, did you actually end up cartwheeling the bike?
No, I did not cartwheel the bike when I wrecked. No.
And
It just
real
kinda
quick, go ahead, Ron.
coasted and fell over.
Yeah, they started doing donuts in the track.
I love it. I love it. Somebody go pick up the bike. Yeah, man. Yeah. Real quick, touching on the supermoto, man. I love supermotos. I'm a huge fan of it. I found myself when I owned one on the street, which I want another one. Man, I stay in trouble because it provokes you. I don't care who you are. You're on a supermoto on the street. I don't care if it's a DRZ 400 SM with 30 horsepower. It don't matter. You're gonna hooligan it. You're gonna ride on sidewalks and do all kinds of stuff, right? It's especially they're perfect in the city.
Doing a wheelie passing, this is the worst one, doing a wheelie passing a car that was going 25 the speed limit through town. I was on the sidewalk, and I look over, and I was not familiar with the town, but I happened to be wheeling in front of the police station. There were a bunch of cops in the parking lot looking at me like I was an asshole.
Oh my God, that's freaking hilarious! I've been in trouble many, many times before. Well known with the law back in the day in high school. Just put it that way, right? So, on my motorcycle. And Kyle, how many kids do you have?
I have 3-year-old twins, 1 boy, 1 girl. It's rough. It's
awesome. It's a journey.
It's great,
right?
but it's rough. Yeah.
At least you got a boy and a girl. I wanted a boy and a girl. We only ended up just having one. That's all we could do. But I'm very blessed that we have him too. You know, it's absolutely amazing. Keeps me on my toes, and man, I've learned so much. I thought I kind of got the grasp on life and kind of knew something until Rossi comes, is born into this world, and he showed me things that I never would have learned without having one. So they are part of our beautiful journey for sure. One of the main stories, the main story of our beautiful journey. Not taking nothing away from my wife because I love her; she's my queen. But yeah, you guys know how it is. And Ryan, man, such an honor to see you, bro. Tell us,
Right.
introduce yourself.
Good seeing you again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, Ryan Krafft. I guess motorcycles in my DNA. I got pictures of family members back to where they're wearing leather helmets. My family's always had bikes, been in the bikes. Never. I was the first one into sport bikes, though. I didn't really get into that until I was in the military and I got stationed down in Jacksonville, Florida, and did my old Virago 750 that had worn worn through the cases, keeping up with my buddies on crotch rockets. I decided it's time to upgrade and got a brand new FCR 600. And I don't know if you're familiar with Stephen Breckenridge. I've
heard the name, but
yeah, he was in the Navy too, and he was racing, and he talked me into taking the old Frank Kenzie's racing school at Roebling Road, and he let me borrow a set of leathers. So I put the leathers on and grabbed some duct tape, rode it all the way from Jacksonville up to Roebling Road, taped over my class, took my race school for the weekend, and rode it back home. That's kind of how it started. I got out of the Navy, came up here, and really wasn't sure about how the racing was going on in the North because it was totally different in the South. And I ran into a friend that knew Roger and said, "Hey, I got a buddy that races. His name's Roger Lenininger." So I hooked up with Roger, and we actually started. We were doing the old Fast Tracks Endurance Series that Bob Stanley was running. Ended up running my 600 in the heavyweight class. I think we took 2 championships in a row, I think. It was just me and him, and a good friend of mine, Joe. He was always helping us in the pits. And I immediately fell in love with the endurance racing side of it, the whole aspect of working together, the whole team effort. Back then, there was no transponders. You had to have somebody up the scoring tower marking every lap. And, we'd get
lap times.
Oh God! And we'd forget about, I look about it now. I'm like, my God, that was a dick move to send somebody up there because we'd forget about them. No water, no pee break. We're 3-4 hours up there. And it's like, back at it now, and I'm like, oh my God. But no AC. But I ended up having an accident on a quad in 2002, I think, and I was in a wheelchair for a year and out of racing, and but I was able to come back in 2018 and started racing the Wira. Met Kyle and decided to go endurance racing again. It's all kind of history. Didn't think we'd go this far with it or get this big. We were just doing it for fun and track time. And next thing you know, we made something of it and some old machinery. And I think that was kind of like our proudest thing is putting the old dinosaur on the podium. Yeah, and there was always a fight with it, but we were able to do it. So, but and that's it changed this year, this way, this time around in the racing's changed. Changed a whole lot of things for me. The people I've met, you don't meet any people any better than you do in the racing community. It's. And I see Cora gave us a shout out there. Cora's a great person, loves seeing what she's doing with the sport, with the bikes, trying to hopefully Moto America will let her in. We're all rooting for her.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love Cora to death. She's been on with me twice. I've met her several times. She is an absolute angel to this earth. She is simply amazing, super fast, super talented, and she will go far. I hope she will be there. One day she will be in Moto America, right? They got to let her in. And we have Listen, we have another legend up in the house right here. Shane, what is up, Shane? He says, "Look at all you handsome fellas, especially you, Simcoe. Thanks, buddy." He says, "Just landed in San Francisco, coming home from visiting the family in Australia. Get home and see my racing family right here. Love you guys." And Royer, where's my banana bread? We love you too, Shane. And yeah, where is my banana bread?
We fed all of his banana bread to
I send it everywhere except for him now.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
And we got another legend,
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Giacomo Monero. What is up, man? He said, "The boys."
Hey.
You, my friend, is a
What's up, Jack?
Going on. Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, that's a good dude right there.
Oh, he's absolutely amazing. He actually sent me a couple T-shirts and 2 beanie hats. Boom! There you go, Giacomo.
Man.
Thank you so much for the merch.
He was driving
Absolutely.
around delivering water and food to people up after the hurricane hit.
He's amazing. He really is. Right? Another man, just you meet so many beautiful people and souls in road racing, and it's an absolute honor to meet every one of you guys. And then we got Casey Davis, another legend in the house. He says, "Happy holidays, boys. Let's go racing. You already know. Let's go." Giacomo says, "Love you guys." Giacomo, you already know. We love you too very much. So we have 2 more comments, but we'll get into those here in a few minutes. So, gentlemen, beautiful story of how everybody briefly got into the sport. It's something that when you start, I tell everybody this, man. When you find a true passion, whatever age it is, it changes you. It changes the way you think, changes the way you feel, changes the way you act. There's nothing like it in the world. And I try to tell everybody 2 wheels is absolutely the way to go. It's the only thing that I found that eases my mind, puts a smile on my face no matter what I'm going through, whatever hardship you're going through, whatever you're dealing with. You throw your leg over 2 wheels. I don't care if it's a little 50, a 110, whatever it is. Man, you put that smile on your face, right? And everything else goes away. So, absolutely. So, gentlemen, now that we heard your story, how did you 3 hook up, come up with the whole MotorDrone and that?
So Ryan and I had met through our mutual friend Joe, and I think the endurance thing just kind of started over a conversation one night, like, "Hey, we should try this at the next round. They're having an endurance race, and give it a try and see what happens." And like Ryan had mentioned, we both loved it, and it's that whole the team effort that's behind the scenes to make it happen is the part that I love about it. Obviously I like love being on the bike too, not anymore so much, but just everything that we do to see the success at the end of it, it's a lot of fun for me to see that. And
that's my favorite part about it too, Rogers. Everything behind the scenes that nobody sees. There is so much that goes on. Whether working on the bike, sourcing parts, trying to find money, it's all of that is, to me, is equal to what happens out on the track. It's great to go out for the weekend and whatnot, but I really enjoy the behind the scenes stuff as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're gonna bring Ryan back in. There he is.
Hey, welcome back.
He had to take a quick break real quick. I think he's still frozen.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Sorry. Yeah, I got you guys. Yeah, too many people in the house visiting on Wi-Fi.
Dude, I feel you on that, man. So why don't you tell everybody the typical setup and what it takes to make an endurance race happen? Because we pretty much all know how to do a solo, right? Race, what it goes into it, but what about the endurance side of it?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta start from the bottom. I mean, it comes down. You got to look at. I mean, we've been lucky. Our riders and the guys that have ridden for us have been, they can work with each other. Sometimes we gotta convince Shane too, but no, he's real good. he's real good about us throwing him something that we just put together and trusting us on it. But and we kind of had to decide first. We had to decide what tires we were going to run because everybody has their choice, preference on tires. But people's weight. When we started, it was Kyle and I, Delaney Ritchie, and her father Chris Mayer that they run Fast Line Track Days.
Yeah.
Great group of people, great track organization. But Delaney is about 110 pounds. Kyle, I won't tell Kyle's a big dude. I'm a big dude.
250.
And Chris, so you got the suspension to look at, how the bike's set up. I mean, you really got to start there. You look at your riders and what everybody prefers and how to meet in the middle. Then looking at logistics. Like I said, talking to you earlier, it's you got guys that are putting their lives in your guys and girls that are putting their lives in your hands. You want to make sure, that bike's not going to come to part on them. You want to give them the tools to succeed. Trust the bike. So they're not afraid to push themselves a little bit. It takes a lot. Logistics, tools, spare parts, God knows. I mean, everybody that runs with us and races in that series, we got all kinds of spare parts, and they're usually scattered across the paddock half the time. But, gotta have them because, if you're serious about it, after we got serious about it, you got to have a backup bike ready to go. And money, that's the biggest thing. Sponsors that support you. That's probably one of the big key things is, Will at Niagara Power Sports. I can't say enough of what he's done for us. The motor work he does for us, and he's been unbelievable. And we hooked up with him by mistake. It was, but
we need a cylinder head ported or something like that.
Or
give him a call.
Yeah, and he'd been building sprint car motors, using the GSXRs and the Yamaha. They run them in those micro sprints, and he right away he's like, I'm kind of, it's getting to be old hat working with these micro sprint guys, and he was excited. If I asked him if hey, you want to look into a sponsorship, he jumped right on it, and he's been with us ever since. And he is helping Shane out a whole ton. Mm-hmm. But we can talk about him later. We got a whole bunch of stories we can tell you about what he's done, and we have a very impressive motor builder. So.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely can't wait to hear.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it other than race day. Ryan's basically a team mechanic. I'm the parts guy, money guy, and then Roger's the sponsorship and PR guy. He does great with that. But yeah, it takes all three of us to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have everybody who's with you. You got to have the right attitudes with each other, and you got to meld really good. Because it makes a difference on how you approach problems, solve problems. You don't want somebody. Oh, it's my turn. Call me when it's my turn to ride. Everybody's been there. It's like Giacomo. He hasn't ran a race with us yet, but he's been there. If we needed him, he was ready to go. Feel bad. Can't wait to get him on a bike. But so it takes a lot.
Effort.
So
it takes a lot. And Ryan strips the bike down to the bare frame and rips the bearings out of it and redoes everything from the frame up every winter on at least 2 bikes, sometimes 3. Ryan's keeping it going.
Yeah.
I love it. Do you guys use ceramic bearings in y'all's bikes?
No. That's the added cost of that, and we're not looking for that extra 1/10 of a second, especially in the wheels. But like I tell these guys, if we need that much time, we can skip the burger the night before you get on the bike. It just so because I'd be changing them out anyways. I don't, it's better to change, better for the peace of mind. After you go through a season, like we see, like Kyle says, one endurance race is pretty much equal to 1 full sprint race season on a bike. We're doing 5, sometimes 6 of them. So I'd be changing them out anyway, and it's the added cost of that is they're impressive, but it's not for us. It's just not.
Worth
Yeah,
And we got, I don't even know how many wheels. It'd just be crazy to try to do that to all the wheels.
yeah.
Yeah, they are expensive for sure. 100%. Yeah, you're right. There's so many variables, and that's one thing I love about endurance racing. There's so many. It's differences between solo racing, and you already said it, right? Like setting up the bike for you three, and then you throw Shane in the mix, which we'll get to here in a second. And it's like, you got to make everybody happy. Not everybody's going to be happy, right? But I think that's what makes you a better racer when you ride an endurance bike, because it's not your particular settings that you're racing on. So you can figure out a way to go fast on those settings that's given to you. Then when you do get back on your solo bike, man, it's like, yeah, it makes a world of a difference. Whether you realize it or not at the time, it absolutely does. Huge fan of endurance racing. I think it's one of the best things ever created as far as racing goes, for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very important.
No, it is. And you said it right on the head, man. It's so important to work with guys that you trust and that are like-minded the way you guys think. You know what I'm saying? Versus somebody that's always trying to clash and butt heads. It's obviously not going to work. It makes it more difficult on everybody. The energy level goes down. The feeling, it's just when it's not jiving, nobody's happy. Therefore, nobody's having fun. Therefore, nobody's going fast, right? So it's very much, I consider motorcycle racing, when you get with the team, it's almost like a marriage, so to speak, right? Because there's so much trust between
Mhm.
the 3, 4, or 5 of you guys. And you guys might only know each other 1 or 2 years or 6 months or whatever it is, right? It's that immediate bond and that immediate trust. Again, that's why I love a beautiful circus, man. It's you won't find. I'm not gonna say you won't find people like that in the world, because there is, but I feel like two wheels motorcycles just has this natural ability to make people come together a lot more natural and a lot more quick than just meeting somebody somewhere else. Oh, this is my buddy, blah blah blah, and then you become friends that way, if you know what I mean. Look who's back in. What you got?
From Granny and Papa. He got me
Did Pawpaw show up?
Yeah, he got me.
All right.
Look, his truck is
My
out
dad's wife. My dad's wife. My wife's dad's here. My dad's wife. Sorry, Mom. You're the only one if you're listening. My mom's probably looking at my dad right now going, what did he just say? We got to talk after this. Would you get some silly putty?
Yeah, and there's like a bunch of little ones, and I mixed it all together.
You mix it all together.
So it's one
Big blob.
Oh.
Look, you just got on the computer. All right, my
and
man.
that smells good.
It does smell good.
It all had scent.
It has scent. It does. It smells kind of like lemon.
My favorite one was banana.
The banana. I don't like anything that smells like bananas, but I love to eat bananas, right?
I should have saved it. But I didn't.
All right, my man. Give me a high
And
five.
it's like Dookie Diamond.
Give me a high five. Up too slow. See
I got
how I did
$50.
that? You got $50? You guys know what that means. When we get off here, he's gonna be like, Dad, I gotta go get some V-Bucks.
To buy some V-Bucks.
I told you.
We should go to Best Buy.
We're not going to Best Buy. I'll take you down to the food line. They got V-Bucks there. All right, my man. Ladies and gentlemen, Hayden Rossi, what is up? They can't see nobody with the putty in the way, silly. Kids, again, you gotta love them, right? They're the best things ever. I love it. So, listen, the story you guys just told and the journey of how every single one of you met is absolutely amazing. And how did Shane come into this whole mix?
When we were starting the team, I reached out to Jamie Starris, who when I was doing track days, he gave me some pointers, and he was helpful, and we connected. And I reached out to him and said, "Hey, are you interested in being on the team?" And he said, "No, I'm already riding for Top Box." But there's this guy named Shane Maggs who is pretty fast. He rides a 1000, and he's new to the U.S. He's from Australia. Reach out to him, see if he might be interested. I'm like, oh, okay. So we reached out to Shane, and he's like, yeah, I used to ride, what is it, ASPK, Australian Superbike,
Yep.
on a Gixxer 600. So we're basically like, oh man, this guy's going to be great. So we had him
My money.
jump on the team and start riding for us. Is the first when we had that $1,500 bike, we didn't have money for a quick change. We just had stock set up. So we just
4 tires.
Yeah, one tire the whole round, throw a hard tire on it and let it go. And the first time he was on the bike, he's going down the straightaway. This is after a bunch of drama with Ryan and I. Ryan was having heat stroke and I couldn't get my boot off. I was having a panic attack. And Shane jumps on the bike, and after we got ourselves situated, I'm like, man, every time he goes past, there's something sparking underneath the bike. We have something hanging? Like, what's going on? And he finally came in, and he's like, man, that last turn before the straight, it doesn't matter how, if I don't even give it throttle, it's trying to step out on me. I don't know what's going on. And we look at his tire, and there's cords, wire just hanging out of it.
I was going to try and tell when I came in. Yeah, and in hindsight too, we're kind of lucky because Matt Patacco was riding with us that round too, and it started raining on his stint, and he never rode in rain, and us northern people, we love it in the rain. He's like, "What do I do?" I was like, "You'll be all right. It's not going to stick around." So just don't give it the gas until you're straight up and down. Only brake straight up and down, and don't do anything to upset the bike when you're bent over. Exaggerate. He's like, "What?" I was like, "Go, you'll be fine." If it wasn't for that rain and the few slow laps he had, the tire probably wouldn't have made it. But I had gotten on it after Matt, and I couldn't wait for them to pull me in, and we didn't even have an expanded tank. But I was so sick. I wanted to tell him, say, "Hey, that tire is greasy. Every time you're leaned over on the right, it's sliding." But the only thing that came out of my mouth was vomit as soon as I got off the bike.
It was roguelike. It was 130 degrees on the track surface with on something like that. It was wild.
Yeah, I'm sure the other guys are looking down like, "Oh, look at the new team." I'm throwing up. He's trying. He can't get undressed. It's bad.
Oh my God.
I'm like, Ryan, cut this boot off of my foot. I don't care. Get it off.
That's hilarious. But again, that's when the whole friendship comes together, where you guys push each other and always stay positive, and it's man, I love it. I've never endured. Well, I took it back. I've done several endurance races. It's been a long time since I did an endurance race. And I remember the first one I did, man, my foot and my knee was swole up. I didn't realize it until I got off the bike, and I went to step, and I'm like, what the? And I looked down, I could barely get my boot off. Bro, I could barely walk. I couldn't pull my boot off. They had a pool there and with cold water that I just jumped into, and finally got the boot off and got the suit off, and was like, yeah, ice and all that good stuff. But that's part of the journey. That's part of the beautiful journey. It helps you grow as an individual, but it brings you guys together closer, and now you know what to do and what not to do next time. But racing is racing. You can never plan it out because it's going to go the way it's going to go. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, which is awesome. Kevin Osborne, what is going on? He says, absolutely loved hanging out with you guys at Daytona this year. Wish I didn't work so much because I would absolutely be at every race.
Yeah, Kevin, he's one of the guys that I started riding with. I switched high schools halfway through the school year. I think I was a junior and went from city schools to one of the better schools in the system, and I showed up there in a Honda Rebel I had put together on a box, earrings, long hair, and and he was one of the first new friends I made because he had a bike, I had a bike, he had a Ninja, and he didn't care what I looked like. I think I had Spurs on my boots too at the time, the old dingo soft leather boots. I wanted to be TJ Lane from Firehouse so bad when I was 17, it wasn't funny.
I love it.
But yeah, he was one of the first friends I made there, and him and me, and a bunch of us has rode for years, and we'd go to a lot of this AMA Super. Actually, he's the one that actually got me into the racing. Our senior year, him and his stepdad took me to Mid Ohio for super bikes, AMA Superbike, and after that, it was the race that Dale Quarterly won his first AMA race, and beating Kevin Chandler, and I was hooked after that. I was like, that is what I want to do. So we can all thank him for that.
Thank you.
So,
Absolutely, thank you. It's
I
and those
I
are
have a
all
total
legends of the sport. Go ahead, Roger.
I have a total different image of Ryan now.
I know, right? Earrings and spurs.
Bro, do you still have the boots with the spurs on them?
no, I wish I did, because people don't remember what the old dingoes were.
Bro, listen, Daytona, because all three of you gentlemen are going to be at Daytona this year, right?
Yep.
You need to get some spurs,
Hopefully.
Ryan.
Bro, that's exactly what I was going to say. I'll be there too. Dude, you got to get you some shoes and boots with some spurs on them, bro. We're going to get a picture with Shane, a legendary picture. Absolutely. I
Assless
love it.
chaps.
Bro, even better. You got to have the cheeks out. Yeah, got to have the cheeks out, man. Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah.
Mark says, so true, no better people than who you meet endurance racing. You guys did great this year.
Yeah. He's
Mark's
top box.
great.
Yeah, one of our main competitors, boy.
Yep.
I love it.
We run our race. I mean, we always have to have a plan for them. We constantly watching what they're doing, what changes they're making, because it's, we're winning because we're trying to beat them, and it's, we're trying to win because we got to get ahead of them, or it's our whole game plan usually involves. Their program's good, great set of riders. All them guys are great. So,
Yeah, them and Trash Panda, we all go head and head.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And speaking of differences too, also with the solos and endurance, you guys are allowed to have bigger fuel tanks, right? And I seen an image one of you guys sent me. And was that you, Ron, of actually building a fabricating a custom bigger gas tank?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I did the one of our sponsors, Fox Feathers, Clint Schaefer, he designed the first Suzuki tank, and it was massive. It was huge. It was too big. So we cut that. He designed a second one and cut all the. He's got a plasma cutter. Does a lot of engineering, and he got it together. I welded it up, and then this last one, the Yamaha, I did that one totally myself. But it's work. It's like again, without like Clint being, all the powder coating he does. And, one of those tanks is every bit I think it's about 120 hours, if you want to do it right, make it look halfway decent, because it's constant fitting, putting it back on, making changes, and it's not, I don't run a MIG gun. I TIG weld everything, and it'd be nice to be able to MIG it, but I'd rather have the cleaner and make sure I got no leaks by TIG welding. And it did take some time, and a lot, like I said, a lot of time and effort if you really want to go at it. But
oh, for sure. And how much bigger are you guys allowed to make the tank?
Yeah, we're I tell you what, I don't know what Top Box is. I think their tank runs into their damn tires, because the first one we made was like 36 liters. And we're like, oh, they ain't outrunning us this year. I'll be damned. It's like we come in, it's like 10 minutes later they come in. It's like, so, but we kind of settled in at like, 27 to 30 liters will give us, we can go probably an hour and 20 on it, but it's, again, I don't like pushing our guys much more than an hour, because then you got the mental aspect, and that's the thing that gets you, the fatigue. You just, all you gotta do is drift off just one time, and next thing you know, you miss the apex.
Yeah, your rear tire's fading by then too.
What's that, right?
Yeah, it's.
So you got a rear tire that's starting to fade after that hour mark. We're looking at tire wear at that point too.
Yeah, for sure. So, do you guys? Obviously, you guys run quick change, just like the Daytona 200 race, because it's right quick change front, quick change rear, which that alone costs some money to get that whole setup. So, on average, how many sets of tires do you guys go through an endurance race?
If you don't want to, that
Four
Kyle,
rears.
he's got.
Four
Yeah.
rears during the race basically is what we budget for, and then one rear for practice. And we typically use the one from practice for qualifying unless some circumstance makes us want to use a fresh tire for qualifying.
Yeah.
So yeah, four rears, one front. We try to do the whole race on one front. We have the quick change front set up. We have two different quick change fronts. We have the quick change front that we have on the A bike that you can change the front, but not as quick as what you can on the B bike. If we think it's going to rain, we'll run the B bike. It's got a wider triple tree, and then the rotors are spaced out from the wheel, so you can just pull the front wheel off without having to do anything with the rotor or the calipers or anything. Just take the axle out, front wheel falls right out, and then you stick a new wheel in and zip the axle in. It's real fast. The A bike is a little bit different. You got to do a little bit more. It's a little bit slower to change front. But yeah, we just try to use one front and about four rears.
Yeah. And then you always want to have a rain set mounted and ready to go, so you never know what you're going to get.
So
yeah,
typically
Dunlops.
we'll have 5 rear tires mounted when we start a race. So going back to your ceramic bearings, if you put five sets of ceramic bearings, I don't know what that'll cost, but it's a ton of money.
Probably $4,000.
Yeah,
they're expensive, no doubt. Yeah, they I almost bought a set for my bike, and I was like, man, I can't justify the cost. I really can't. I just wanted to ask the question because it's cool if you have ceramic bearings. Man, I know they do make a difference, but yeah, it's absolutely. And so Jim Whitehead, what is up, Jim? Oops, what happened? Let me get back to the comments. I'm using my cell phone. It's different than my laptop right here. So Jim says, sky's the limit, guys. Go get it from Ashtabula, Ohio. What is going on, Jim? Thanks for tuning in.
Hey, Jimmy. Yeah, he used to ride with me all the time. Yeah, that's another guy he's a big guy, 6 foot, 6'5". And he was abnormally fast on a sport bike. He's into Harleys now, but I kept trying to get him to race, and he's like, no. But I think he's like Aaron Yates size. Aaron Yates is a big man,
Big dude, man. Yes, he is.
A little thicker, and it was always wheeling, and he was amazing on a sport bike.
Well, dude, it sounds like we need to get Jim in the super hooligan class.
I know, right? Yeah, I brought that up to him this year, but
he's like, I love it. And then Kemper Simmons, the show. I miss you, brother. Man, I miss you too, bro. Thanks for tuning in. And then Shane says, these guys are my best friends, but also my family. We've been through a lot in the last 4 years. This season was awesome to finally endure on the top few times. The effort everyone puts in is the reason why we were so successful this season. Thankful to be part of it all. We love you guys, and you're absolutely right, Shane. And we love you too, bro.
Oh yeah, we couldn't do it without Shane. Shane's our anchor that we abuse time and time again.
He's the guinea pig. Let's put him out there. I love it. And then Iva, what is up? He says, love you guys. Happy holidays. Can't wait for racing to begin again. Absolutely. We love you too. And then Brad Burns says, to the front. Let's go.
Yeah, old Brad.
I love it. So all these ladies and gentlemen that are actually in here with us, do you guys race with them or against them?
Yeah, no, Brad's rides with us. He rode with us last year. Brad actually
talking about fuel tanks. I just sent you a text with a picture of Brad high siding and trying his damnedest to save our fuel tank.
Yeah, that's about the only thing that wasn't destroyed on the bike when he
wrapped his body around that fuel tank.
Bro, that
Yeah.
looked like one hell of a ride on that one. You were completely
Yeah.
sideways coming off.
And I don't think there was a
Wow.
single scratch on it. Everything else on the bike was pretty much destroyed, though. But yeah, Brad used to run. He was with um, Twisted Speed and running heavyweights for years. You know, they get in some nasty fights with Army of Darkness in that heavyweight class, and they'd be. So not only I think Shane got a hold of him and he talked to him, and he just wanted to throw his luck in with us. And and Brad's got a ton of endurance racing knowledge. You know, he's a good dude. So
I
get
love
him
it. I love it. So, listen, gentlemen, tell us about your 2024 season.
Well, I'm not sure. I think we're going to be putting it on hold with the N2 and Wira stuff that was going on, and there not being any purses. It's hard to take the gamble to cartwheel a bike through a gravel trap if there's no money on the other end of it. Yeah, it just makes it hard financially. I think we're going to put it on hold and see what 2025 has to offer.
Yeah, I think we decided we're going to go ahead and focus with Shane and Moto America. The Moto America rounds last year, as other than Daytona, it was just usually Shane and I and a couple hands. But it's a lot. You almost need 3 people with you there all the time. And with Kyle having the twins at home doing the endurance and the Moto America, I was gone almost every weekend. I felt like this summer, doing both. And we think it's our time right now to shine with Shane and Moto America, given he's got the opportunity. He did really good last year. Giving him some more support and some more downtime while we're at the track, so he doesn't have to be there with me working on the bike, where he can, we can look at the data. We had to update his bike with a Mectronic system this year, so now we're going to have live data at our hands to help him get faster. Some things we might be missing with the suspension. So that way, having more hands on deck for that, I think is going to be more beneficial for us as a team and for him. And then hoping, luckily Weir was able to get up a four round schedule for endurance this year, because it's important that endurance series stays. And we'll be back, but we kind of want them to kind of re-straighten things out here and see where things go. It sucks because they actually put a round on at Nelson, which is in our backyard, and it's always a fun round for us. But everything else, it's just so far away. We're looking at $4,000 just to get down there and race, and there's nothing coming back this year. So it's kind of hard to justify, and we got to keep Roger and Kyle married still. So we got to make smart decisions. So.
Listen, I get it. Trust me, I do. It's a compromise everywhere. It really is, right? Not only do you got to have the support between you 3 and Shane and the logistics, and that alone is just a full-time job, doing the whole logistics and sponsorship and money and funds and travel expenses and all that stuff. But it's also the home life too, right? Because you got to have your wife and your kids also got to help support you and show you their full commitment behind you too as well, because they sacrifice time for not seeing you as well as you not seeing them. That's one thing that my wife and my son's been telling me a whole lot this year, because I've been going just straight as hard as I can on this podcast, 4 and 5 a week. So this next year I'm only going to do 2 a week, maybe 3 at the most. So I get it. It's a whole full circle compromise, right? One piece of that pie disrupts it. It's hard to stay focused in between the chapters and you know what I'm saying, make the positive outcomes. It's a full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was rough. It was rough. It wasn't an easy decision for us to make either, especially because we finally made the switch to a new platform on the Yamaha, and the Suzuki was great. You couldn't. I mean, getting that bike on the podium, it being classified as a vintage bike, and we were always up there fighting for podium position on that bike was awesome. But it's just couldn't find. We're replacing worn out parts with worn out parts off of eBay because parts are getting hard. And Kyle was like, I'm just gonna, the first round of Atlanta this year, that was a straw that broke the back. Where Kyle was like, I woke up, we're on our way back from Atlanta. He's like, I just bought a Yamaha. I'm flying out to Oregon to get it. I'm like, what? So, yeah.
I was so irritated with that Suzuki after Atlanta. I looked and I found a low mileage 17 plus R6 out in Portland, Oregon, and flew out on a Friday, and I was unloaded at like 9 o'clock at night Sunday at Ryan's house in Ohio. Rented a truck out there and drove it back.
Yeah, I don't even want to know what they charge you for cleaning out that rental truck either. He got out of that truck in underwear and cowboy boots, and I was like,
with the spurs on them.
Whoa!
Oh yeah,
I love it. So
I got the company discount on that. I think it was only like $200 to drive it the whole way back because we use Enterprise for our for work, so they gave me a pretty good discount.
I love it. One thing I did meant to ask is, what do the three of you gentlemen actually do for a living? Roger, we'll start with you.
I work at Wiseco Piston. I do programming for most of their machines there. Not so much on the piston side of it. It's more on like right now. My big focus is we have a big rod machine. We're getting into making connecting rods for. It's all automotive right now. So like the LS, the Hemi. There's a couple of Fords that we do some rods for. So that's been my main focus right now is programming that. Prior to that, it was programming all the clutch baskets that Wiseco offers, and I have done some pistons for them. Just it's not the production side of it, more the billet builds, I guess. I do a lot of their billets for them.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Been there 21 years.
Bro, congratulations. Absolutely.
Thank you.
And Kyle, what do you do for a living, my friend?
I work in the oil and gas industry. I'm a regional manager for a midstream company, EQT. Well, it's actually a production and midstream company, but for EQT, have I think $4 billion worth of assets that I take care of. So always on the phone, night and day. You can ask these guys. It's nonstop trying to keep stuff running. So, yeah.
Man, you're extra busy with the phone constantly attached to you and twins and racing and man. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ryan, what do you do for a living, my friend?
I work for Huntsman International, and they work in their specialties division. I'm maintenance tech, welder, fabricator. Build vessel or piping, rebuild pumps, whatever breaks. So luckily, it's only like 5 minutes from my house, so it doesn't interfere with what I got to do on the bikes too bad. So.
I love it. And thank you, gentlemen, for your service in the military. I grew up in the Navy. My dad was a fighter pilot, so I'm used to the whole hurry up and wait. We got to move. Come home. He's like, we got to move. I'm like, dude, we just got here. Orders. We got to go, but I enjoyed that because that's what partly made me who I am. That's why I'm just so I can talk to anybody, right? It's that whole moving from schools to schools and making new friends all the time. And I got tired of making new friends. I'm like, dude, I want the same friends. I don't want to make new friends no more, And my dad was like, look, this is going to make you stronger and change your personality and all that. And he was absolutely right. So yeah, I know all about the military life, but thank you. It's absolutely amazing. It's people like you that we are able to do what we love to do, racing and podcasting and all that. Because without you, no matter what your job was, infantry, changing oil in the trucks, cooking, it don't matter. You're still part of that beautiful journey and that beautiful circus, right? Just like in road racing, without the colonel marshals, the ambulance, and the air fence, guess what we're not doing? Showing up to the track at all, right? So every role is very important. It's just as important as Shane throwing his leg over the bike or Kyle or Ryan in racing. It's absolutely imperative. So thank you. I just want to throw that in there.
Yeah, but on that note, my son. He's going back to MMI in Orlando today. I got to get him to the airport, so I'm gonna have to dip out of here. But
all right,
no,
you're good.
Don't let these guys run their mouths about me. I'm not really that slow on the track, I promise.
That's all right, Ron. I will shoot you a text. We'll do a phone call. Me and you will set up an individual podcast. So.
All right, guys.
All right, my friend.
You guys have a good night.
See you, Ron.
Yep.
See you,
Appreciate
Ron.
it. Thanks, bud. So, 2024, what was your guys' best race?
Had to have been Barber or Roebling, right?
Yeah, I'd say Barber. We took the new platform. Yeah, Barber, I'd say, was the best. We fought Trash Panda pretty hard for it. Yeah, I'd definitely say Barber.
What was the one team that pushed you guys the hardest this season, and what did you learn from that?
I'd say probably Trash Panda pushed us the hardest this season. They were just relentless. You know, if we let our guard down for a minute, they were right there. And they ended up winning the championship. But pretty much learned from them and from Brad. Brad was an outside perspective coming in this year. That basically the time that we spend away from the track, we need to make sure that we're being as productive as possible and making sure that we don't have stupid little problems like quick shifters failing and whatnot. Hold on, my headphone just died.
So you're good. You are good, my friend.
Yeah, make sure we don't have stupid problems like quick shifters failing and whatnot. And like Brad said, you know, the most worn part on that bike should be the grips. If you've got foot pegs that are ground down or anything like that, replace them. There's no, it costs a little bit more money, but if you want to win, that's what you got to do. Yeah, that's basically what we learned this year.
I love it. So let me ask you two gentlemen this. What advice would you give for somebody looking to get into endurance racing?
I'd go small bike. You know,
Yeah, definitely stay away from the 1000s.
Yeah.
Unless you've got a lot of sponsors, stay away from the 1000s. They cost a lot of money to keep going. The 600s they still cost a lot of money, but they don't eat sprockets and tires like a 1000 does. Like Roger said, the little bikes like the SVs, the lightweight or the ultra lightweight would probably be the way to go if you're just getting into it.
Get a 400 and do the 2 hour, as a solo. I think you can't you? Like, there might be a couple minute break that you have to do for you're obviously for your fuel and whatever, but I think one person can ride the 2 hour by themselves. And there's nothing that's going to beat seat time out there.
Yeah.
You want to progress as a racer, stay on the seat,
Yeah. Yeah. And if you have the opportunity to start off, the relay classes get a lot of flack, but if you start off in a relay class, you kind of get a feel for what it takes to actually do the 4 hour in one of the non-relay classes where you're sharing a bike. I'd say start off with the relay class and go from there.
I love it. I love it. So, Roger and Kyle, are you guys going to be with Shane in Moto America next year?
I'm going to try and get
Roger?
to a couple of rounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm going to try to. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Roger.
I was just going to say, I'm going to try and, obviously the first round of the year's Daytona, I'd love to get down to that again. I went down this past year with them and I loved it. Daytona is something different than any track you'll ever go to. It's a pretty amazing place to go to for a race. So I'd like to do that and Mid Ohio again since it's close to us, and then I don't know. We'll see how my schedule this summer goes. It's usually pretty busy with between work and family. We go on vacations and whatever, but I would like to get to a couple rounds again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be running around with Shane quite a bit. I'd like to go to as many races as I'm able to make. I can't say for certain how many that'll be, but it'll be, more than what we have endurance races. So probably at least half the season I'd like to be there for him.
I love it. Good, because I get an opportunity to meet you gentlemen, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing I love is having my friends on the podcast and then meeting you in real life. I always call it real life, right? Kind of like we're in a cartoon right now, right? But it's and I'm a big hugger, so I'm not a big high fiver. I'll just come up behind you and give you a big hug. You look down, like, who is this? I'm like, whoa, what is up? He's like, oh my God, get away from me. Hey, we need some help over here. Get him out of here. No, I'm just kidding. I'll be at Daytona this year. I can't wait to go. Be my first time for the 200 race. I'm super excited about that.
It's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll
I
have to
can't
come
wait.
say hi. Come have
Oh,
a beer
absolutely. Dude, listen, it's already on the agenda, 100%. Not only that, we're going to cook out. We're going to throw some good chicken or steaks or something on a grill. And
with us. Hell yeah.
Absolutely. I'm with it.
I will
love to
definitely
cook,
be there
so.
mooching food off of you.
Come on. I'm going to bring them over to your guys' camp and cook them at your spot.
Yeah.
For sure. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to do Road Atlanta, Jersey, Mid-Ohio, and VIR. I'm so excited about coming back to VIR. So, yeah, man, it's going to be a great season. I'm so looking forward to 2025. What did you guys – do you guys watch, of course, Moto America, but do you gentlemen also watch BSB or the TT, MotoGP or any of that?
I watch the reruns of the TT, and if I'm able to watch it live, I'll watch it live, but I don't watch it enough to follow it. Moto America I watch pretty consistently, but BSB, not really at all, no.
I watch some of the BSB stuff, but it's mostly like reruns on, I don't know what, I guess YouTube or whatever I catch them on.
Yeah, me too.
Obviously, I try to catch all the Moto America stuff. Love the Isle of Man stuff. I try to catch that as much as I can.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of it all. I watch it all. ASBK, BSB. You can watch BSB for free at Bennett'sBritishSuperbikes.com, their website. As the season goes on the weekends, you just scroll down and boom, click live, and there you go. Or you can always go to YouTube and rewatch them. So I love that because it's free, right? You don't have to pay for a subscription or any of that. I think that helps them grow tremendously too, because if we had a free platform, plus they do a lot of advertising out there where we don't advertise hardly anything for Moto America, right? That's one thing that about our sport I see is severely lacking in. We need to show it on commercials and billboards and grocery stores and blah 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 blah, right? It's because every time you turn on the TV, you see what NASCAR and football and baseball and tennis and cricket and what's even cricket, right? But we don't see nothing about Moto America or two wheel racing. I love our sport. We've definitely gone in the right direction, and 2025 is going to be absolutely amazing for everybody. I can't wait to meet you guys. We're going to have a lot of fun for sure. Absolutely, I can't wait. But gentlemen, we are an hour and 5 minutes into this podcast. Kyle, I know you got to go soon because you got 2 little ones running around. Roger, stay on with me. Kyle, stay on with me here in a minute. We're going to go ahead and schedule your 2 individual podcasts, and I'll just call Ron later. Look, my father-in-law just texted, "Hey, I'm at your house." I know, and I'll be out there in a few minutes, buddy. Anthony, he says they are great guys, very knowledgeable and helpful. Anthony, thank you so much for tuning in, my friend.
Anthony's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, this has been a lot of fun. We're all 3 going to get together and do this again, but this time we're going to add Shane into it too as well. Get the whole team in together. Actually, we'll do that live. We'll do a live podcast at the end of the weekend. It's always hard. I always say that, but when the race weekend comes, I know how busy everybody is, right? And Sunday after the race, everybody's packing up because we got to hit the road. Why? Because we got jobs and families to get to. So maybe Friday evening after the first practice, blah, 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 when chill, throw some steaks on the grill. I'll break out the cell phone and we'll do a live podcast there from Daytona this year. Be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
That'd be awesome, man.
Well, we will do it. We will do it. And gentlemen, again, it's an absolute honor to be able to sit down with you gentlemen today. I've learned so much. I had so much fun, and thank you so much for telling me your whole journey and how you guys come together with Motor Drone Racing. Looking forward to 2025. And I'm going to let you 2 gentlemen in the podcast. Before I do that, I just want to say thank you for everybody that watched this podcast. Thanks for everybody that likes and subscribe. If you have not yet, please go to all my platforms, hit that like button, that bell. You guys know the routine. It helps me out a lot. Thank you so much to Next Level Financial, BisonTrack.com, Chef Eats, Flying Eyes Optics, SFL Mini GP, RD Racing, Jake March, Vet2 Track, 64 Degree Racing, Ghetto Customs, The Clothing Kings, STG, Road Racing Fun. I need everybody to go to Road Racing World, go to their website, go to the fund. Please donate. That is for our air fences. We absolutely need them. Thank you guys so much. Carnes Performance, KYT, Mini SBK, RTR, Coleman Power Sports here in Virginia, and Drippin' Wet Graphics. Gentlemen, Roger, tell everybody where they can find you on social medias and all that good stuff.
Kyle's going to get a giggle out of this. I'm not on any social media, really. It's one of those things I don't know, I've never gotten onto anything. I'm on that LinkedIn site. I signed up for that years ago through work, and I'm on that once in a while. But other than that, I'm not really on any social media. So they can reach me at my email through Wiseco if they want. It's just my name with, wiseco.com on it.
Or LinkedIn, because we're on LinkedIn. This podcast is actually live on LinkedIn right now, too, as well.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So, yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, too, man. It's like, they'll send me this thing like, so-and-so viewed your profile. Try this for free. I'm not paying for that. There's absolutely no way I'm paying for LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So, on LinkedIn, right? No, absolutely not. For real. But, Kyle, listen, absolute honor. Tell everybody where they can find you on socials and see you at the track.
We're at MotorDrone Racing and on Facebook. If you look us up, or look up my name on Facebook, that's about the only thing that I'm on. I think Shane is running I think we have an Instagram page as well that Shane runs. I think it's MotorDrone Racing also on Instagram.
I think it's just pictures of Shane.
Is it just pictures of shirtless Shane?
Hey, man, dude, listen, he's a beast.
Washing clothes on his abs.
Right. He's like, this is for all the ladies. Thanks so much for 64 Degree Racing, right? Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Shane's absolutely amazing, but you're right. He's yeah.
Oh, we love Shane, man.
We do too. Absolutely, we do.
Yeah, that's how you can reach us if you need to get a hold of us. And man, all those companies that you were just mentioning, I know the owners of a lot of those companies. They're all fantastic companies. I second everything you say about them.
Oh yeah, they're all my friends. In KYT, my buddy Brandon Cray too. KYT Americas, I try to help him and people buy KYT helmets. K-Tech suspension, Dakari and Birch and Kendall, absolutely amazing. Chef Eats, we're good friends with Chef. I love his food and his products. I try to tell everybody if you got Chef Eats. Dude, what are you doing? You guys are slacking. Sign up for Chef Eats. It's fucking amazing food, man. Flying Eyes Optics. My buddy, he has He works for the company. They're actually made and assembled in Austin, Texas. They're the lightest sunglasses that I've ever put on my face. I forget that I'm wearing them. They're made to wear up underneath motorcycle helmets. And if you're a pilot or bicyclist or whatever, these are listen, I bring them to the races. I'll have them there at Daytona. I'll let you guys try them on, run around for a couple hours in them. Yeah, I got a discount code if anybody's interested in getting some. It's Pin the Gas 10, save 10%. But I had to hide them because between my wife and her friends and my friends too, I had to start hiding them because they ended up missing. Oh, I got your sunglasses, by the way. I'm like, bro, I need my glasses back. I'm glad you enjoyed them. If you want a pair, again, like I said, yeah, RD Racing, man, is a buddies of mine out there in BSB, and their son Jake Morris, Kale Walker, man, there's a bunch of my friends that race with them. Of course, Jim Whitman, Vet2 Track, right? Again, all these people that I named, man, I'm really good friends with them, and I just want to see their business thrive and grow, right? And talking about them on the podcast, and
I think Jeff with Chef Eats. I think he might be down at Daytona this year. I know he was down last year.
Yeah, he came over and met up with us while we were down there.
Oh, yeah, he gave us the little care package. Man, that food was
intro
awesome.
box.
Awesome.
Yeah, the food was great.
Yeah.
I actually had the honor to meet Jeff for a brief minute at Road Atlanta this year. I was walking through the paddock, and all of a sudden I heard Simcoe, and I turned around, and it's Jeff on his little scooter and comes up. We got a picture together. And again, it's so busy on the weekends, man. I would love to be able to sit down and spend a lot of time with each and every one of it, but it goes by so quick. So many people are so busy, so I just run around, say hi, get my hugs, and I constantly just do that, right? But yeah, looking forward to meeting you gentlemen. It was an absolute honor to sit down. This episode will be uploaded. It'll be everywhere tomorrow but Apple. So if you miss this, you can go right back to my YouTube channel, my Facebook channel, and watch it live. I mean, we watch it there again. But listen, I hope your Sunday is as proper mega as your guys' Sunday. I hope everybody's Sunday is absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see you guys again. And is there anything you guys want to say before I end the podcast?
I think we covered pretty much everything.
Thanks to everybody that supported the team over the years.
Yeah,
Without them, it's been, it'd be a lot harder. It could be done definitely, but it's definitely easier when you get partners that help you out. Wise Code's been, I bug them all the time for, hey, what do you guys think about this? And sooner or later they're going to tell me to quit bugging them, but until they tell me that, I'm going to keep bugging them.
I would too, my friend. Absolutely, I would too. Well, gentlemen, just stay on with me for a quick second. I'm going to go ahead and schedule our little podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, it was an absolute honor today to sit down with MotorDrone Racing. We will see you guys soon.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thank you.
The honor was all mine, fellas. Believe me, it really was. All right, let me end this.
Calling all two-wheel enthusiasts, get ready to rev up your earbuds with Pin the Gas Podcast, the ultimate motorcycle racing podcast, hosted by Chris Simcoe, one of our very own excellent leaders here in Roanoke, Virginia. With expert analysis, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive writer interviews, Pin the Gas Podcast delivers the adrenaline rush of the racetrack straight to your ears. Whether you're a diehard fan or a curious newcomer, you'll gain insights that will transform how you watch and understand motorcycle racing. On your favorite podcast app, join Simcoe as he takes you on a high-speed journey through the world of motorcycle racing. Pin the Gas Podcast.